Jacqueline's mother had suggested they go to the cottage. Dominic called her one afternoon while Jacqueline was sleeping, originally to confirm their plans for their early Christmas get-together, seeing as they would be performing over the holidays. Dominic explained how sick she'd been, and he knew that he also sounded completely exhausted and run down himself, and before he knew it, she had insisted that they go to the cottage for a few days to relax, just the two of them, rather than be inundated by siblings, cousins, nieces, and nephews at either her or his parents' house. Jacqueline's mother had told him where she usually kept her spare key for the place, and he had quickly found it and added it to his own ring for safekeeping until today. He was glad it had remained a surprise to Jacqueline, as her reaction had been just what he was hoping for. When they get inside, it's clear that their mothers have come in ahead and prepared for their arrival. Some of their doings are much appreciated and welcome after their 9-hour drive. The casserole bubbling away in the crock pot, the wine chilling in the fridge alongside her favorite cheesecake, the large stack of wood and kindling by the fireplace, the electric blanket warming the bed, the teetering pile of DVDs by the television. But other parts really aren't. The entwined towel swans on the bed, the rose petals in the drawn bath, which is now cold, and a familiar box on the nightstand. Dominic had turned a furious shade of red and carried them like a dish rag between finger and thumb into the bathroom and tossed them into the cupboard under the sink with a shudder, content that between them they were covered for that. After second helpings of the casserole and then the cheesecake, they settled down in front of the fire and put on some music, snuggling against one another under the fluffy blanket. A short way in, Jacqueline's phone pings somewhere under the blanket, and she gropes around blindly beneath it, first grabbing onto Dominic's knee, and then grabbing what is absolutely definitely not his knee, or her phone for that matter, causing him to let out a rather amusing sound somewhere between a yelp and a moan. He hits pause on the movie as she unlocks her phone and begins nuzzling his nose against her neck, now feeling suitably distracted. "It's Carrie," she explains, scrolling through the message quickly and firing off a short response. "I thought she would probably message me." Carrie, an old college friend of Jacqueline's, will be joining them in the production. Her resume is impressive, featuring a number of swing roles. No Broadway, though, he had noted out loud as he thumbed through the dossier of information on the production the team had sent through to them a few weeks back, along with their final month-long contract renewal. "She wants us to join her and Simon for dinner the first week of December, once rehearsals start. That's okay, right?" "Sure," he agrees flatly, frowning in that jealous way he does, the way he thinks he hides well. Simon, a new kid on the theater scene despite being several months older than Dominic, will be starring opposite them. Dominic's done his research on their new co-stars. Simon used to be a pro dancer and has recently made the switch into musical theater. He's tall, dark-haired, and handsome, with a pleasant baritone voice, and has been romantically linked to all of the women he ever danced with, though relationships were always denied. "Don't start that again," Jacqueline says with a teasing smile and wiggles her eyebrows. He visibly relaxes and chuckles softly at her line from the song. "I just don't like the thought of fending off yet another guy, Jackie," he says, looking away and fidgeting his hands nervously. "Good thing you don't have to, then, isn't it?" She places her hand on his thigh and squeezes until he looks up to meet her eyes. "I'm all yours, Dominic," she whispers, closing her eyes and the gap between them to press her lips firmly to his with a soft smile. Their self-imposed quarantine was necessary, but God did she miss getting to kiss him whenever she wanted. "Besides," she says, pulling away from him and lying back against the opposite arm of the couch, resting her feet in his lap and adjusting the blanket back around them. "He and Carrie have been together for 5 years, so we're all safe." 5 years, he exclaims, a little too loudly. Apparently, it would seem all those relationship denials were true. She makes an affirmative noise and places her phone down on the coffee table. "Okay then, I take back my jealousy. Forgive me?" "Of course." She pokes his toned stomach with her big toe and he flinches, reaching down to rest his hands on her shins so that she can't do it again. "Tell me more about Carrie," he says, setting back against the couch cushions, content he is safe from unwarranted toe-poking. "You went to college together, right?" "Yeah, we did. We roomed together in our first year. She started out doing world literature and culture while I was a sociology major, so we didn't go to classes together, but we were both on the dance team and she did cheerleading. Dominic nods. We were the best of friends, totally inseparable. We were each other's confidant, shoulder to cry on, +1 at parties. Her eyes are bright with excitement as she reminisces, the impossible hazel reflecting the fire's burning glow from the other side of the room. He muses thoughtfully, running his fingertips down her shins under the blanket. Perhaps my jealousy was directed at the wrong cast member? Her only response is a mischievous smile, to which he raises an eyebrow, firstly in surprise, but then he gets this little smirk on his face. She chuckles and rolls her eyes at him. 21 or 33. Boys are always the same, it seems. But she can forgive this one, she thinks. He's special. But it's still fun to tease. I don't know. She'll be my understudy. She bats her lashes demurely and whispers, if she has to go on instead of me, I'm not sure who I'll be more jealous of. She suddenly feels Dominic's warm hands grasp around her ankles, and he turns to face her and tugs her towards him with a soft, husky growl, pulling her legs on either side of his hips. He leans forward so his entire body hovers over her. They're not touching at all, but the air between them crackles and burns just like the fire in the hearth, and smells like a mixture of red wine mingled with the cheesecake they had for dessert. She can see his eyes darkening as his pupils dilate, just a golden ring of the vibrant hazel remaining. She reaches up to place her palms on either side of his face, feeling her heartbeat quicken as she surges forwards. He meets her halfway, crashing their mouths together with the same intensity as they had in the back of the car earlier. Soon it turns softer as he pulls her entire body flush to his, caressing her neck and head as he plants gentle kisses on her lips, her nose, before nipping at her ears, her neck, and then, ever so slowly, worshipfully making his way down her body. Many, many minutes later, the only sound left in the room is the popping and crackling of the dying embers in the grate, and their soft breaths as they both sleep peacefully, bodies entwined beneath the blanket, clothes strewn randomly on the back of the couch and on the coffee table. They have time, right in this moment, to run away from everything, from everyone, and just be here, together, even if it's only for one night.